And that was Vice President Kamala Harris speaking at Howard University today about beefing up the DNC's effort to beat back restrictive voting laws. The $25 million initiative will go toward the DNC's I Will Vote campaign to enhance voter education, expand voter registration, and attempt to make voting more accessible to all people, particularly people of color. Here to talk more about the efforts to combat voter suppression nationwide is the founder of the Black Male Voter Project, Mondale Robinson. And we appreciate you joining us today, particularly in the heels of this momentous meeting that 8 civil rights leaders just held with the President of the United States. And I want to start first with Mark Morial talking about the fact that this is a fight for saving democracy, that democracy is under attack. We also heard from the Reverend Al Sharpton stating that a very candid, no-holds-barred discussion for an hour and 40 minutes with the President of the United States. And he talked about the fact that the Supreme Court's decision last week was an undescribable blow to Americans' right to vote, particularly people of color. What say you about today's meeting and what the fallout is from this and the fact that these 8 civil rights activists are moving forward this summer to commemorate the death of John Lewis by creating good trouble all summer long and culminating in a march for voting rights on August 28th? It seems like we're having some trouble there with the sound. I will continue to talk while we try to effort to get Mondale's sound right there. But again, getting back to Mondale, I can hear you now. Please answer the question.
Yep. Listen, sorry about that. I said thank you for having me on your show this evening. I think it's a part of our long history, the struggling of Black people and the willingness to continue to fight, march, protest, and also scream about what's wrong with America as it pertains to our right to vote, this fundamental right to being seen as a citizen. I do think something must be said about what was missing from that meeting today. While we respect all 8 of those leaders we saw, what we do know is they don't represent the largest voting bloc anymore. Most of those people that spoke with the president, that sat in that meeting, that was invited to that meeting, are a part of the baby boomer generation. That generation is no longer the largest voting bloc. So having these conversations absent of millennials and the generation behind them, which are the largest part of the Black voting bloc, I think is a misstep. Both on the White House part and also.
Well, Mondale, let me interrupt you just a moment there, Mondale, because you're talking about a dichotomy between the young and the old. But if you had listened to Johnetta Cole, Dr. Johnetta Cole, who, by the way, was the president of Spelman College, is now the leader of the Council of Negro Women, she stated very categorically that they will be getting young people in as early as July 12th, that they'll take over social media. She says, I know I'm old, but we can reach out to the young people, and the young people will join us on July 12th to start taking over social media, as well as on July 13th, they will speak up and speak out on social media. On July 14th, we will call members of Congress through social media and through our young people. And on July 15th, let us not forget that she, representing Black women in America, said that when Black women have had enough and say enough is enough, enough is enough. And she, along with the brothers who gathered there today, did categorically state that they will reach out to young people and activate our young people throughout Black America. So what say you about that? Maybe you didn't hear that, but that is being said. It's not being overlooked at all.
Yeah, I think the problem, though, is there's a couple things. First of all, as an old millennial who's 42 years old, I don't consider myself that young anymore. Second of all, activating us is not something that's necessary. I think what happens is we need to be a part of the discussion so that our concerns are heard up front and not as an afterthought. So my concern is not the fact that they would invite us to participate in social media. I'm saying millennials are now 42 and 43 years old. So we should absolutely have a part in this conversation, as that we are, since we are the largest part of the voting bloc. And also we may see the way forward a little different. And that is not to say that there's anything wrong with what our elders have done in the past. It's just that sometimes there are different avenues. And that avenue for us is a little different in that we're not sitting here for respectability politics. There's an entire group of us that are fighting, saying that this moderate way forward has not worked for us. This idea that 2021 is the new voting attack or the attacks on voting rights is absolutely incorrect. In 2012, ahead of the 2012 midterms, we had lawsuits because Republican states were passing restrictive laws. In 2014, there were lawsuits.
So
2016,
Mondale, how would you do it differently than what we heard
time,
today? How would you?
Yeah,
we're running out of time. How would you do it differently?
I think so. First of all, I think what needs to be acknowledged is we have to stop saying it's not a partisan issue. It is absolutely a partisan issue. Republicans don't want black people to vote, and if we don't name that initially, then we've already started. If we're wasting time talking to Republicans about why we need to have the right to vote in 2021, then that tactic is flawed. When that energy can be spent on increasing black people's participation by talking to us about the need to vote for a lot of reasons. Furthermore, I think it's also a problem when we hear people on the stand that are speaking at White House events and press conference, like we just heard, say that when you talk about the black vote, you're only talking about black women. That is absolutely categorically incorrect. Black men vote heavily for the same people that black women vote for. And without black men, there are no two senators coming out of Georgia that are Democrats. There are no senators coming out of There's no Democratic senators coming from anywhere. So I think it is important that we put this thing in proper context. And we know that the black women vote is extremely important, but it is improper to discount and make black men feel invisible, even more than America already is doing. And when we do that, we ourselves participate in a form of voter suppression. Because when black men don't feel seen,
Mondale, I appreciate your perspective and weighing in. Thank you, Mondale. I appreciate your perspective and weighing in on this matter. I would just add a further statement to that what we saw today was not just black women talking about black women, it was black men standing there with them. And whether they're talking at the White House or your house or my house or the church house, the point of the matter is they are out and they're activating and they're getting out the message that they have to apply some street heat to this. Nevertheless, you are part of this valuable conversation, and we need to hear from all sides of the spectrum. I'm an OG. I've been seeing it for a long time. It's time to see black people wake up, and that's exactly what they're striving to do, along with the young people. More to come, and we thank you for joining us. We'll be right back after this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I don't think we're asleep as people think we are.
Thank you. We're coming back with more of The World Tonight in just a moment.